Evening all, how you doing? It's Middle-Aged Gamer Guy here, better known as Mag. Welcome to another Tuesday night gaming chat where we talk about all the latest gaming news and reviews from the last 7 days or so. How is everyone? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Let's see who is in chat tonight. First one here is the wonderful Diva, also known as Midnight Stitch. Hello, lovely. To you. Hope you're doing well. Kindred, good evening, sir. Hope you're doing good, my friend. He's finally opened his Nintendo Switch 2, which is good. Go play it. Punch It Sue, hello. Welcome. Lovely to see you. Lovely to have you here. Danka, good evening. How you doing? Hope you're well. iQuail, good evening. Good to see you. Jenny, good evening. Sophie says, hey, sweetie pie. Hey, another lovely person here. How are you doing, lovely? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Ems, hello, everyone. Hey, Ems, how you doing? Lovely to see you all. Welcome to the show. And before we kick things off, I have to state, because we are technically sponsored, I like the way I say technically because we are sponsored, by DC Dark Legions, the mobile game, exclamation DCDL in chat. We are sponsored by the mobile game this week and next week. You can play the game. It's absolutely free to play on mobile. We are looking for people to hit the target to basically level up their base all the way up to level 16, as simple as that. So basically get your Batcave up to level 16. You can play as Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman on a quest to save Gotham City. It's quite good fun. So there you go. Yeah, the letters went straight out my head. I know, even I'm like, yeah, exclamation DCDL. I struggled to remember it yesterday, but that's the code they give me. But also, if you have played the game before, as I know there was someone yesterday, Bonded already play it, or if you haven't played the game before, you can use that gift code, DCDL999, actually gives you a ton of free stuff. So even if you've played the game, which doesn't count to our challenge, unfortunately, you can still get a load of free stuff courtesy of the game. And if you haven't played it, there's a load of stuff to get you started in the game as well. So there you go. Go use that code. More details of how to redeem that code is in our Discord. Flame, good evening. Yeah, it sounds like ECDL, which was a course on Microsoft Office back in the day. I remember that. I remember that. Sponsored this week by an old course, ECDL. Can you imagine that? But thank you to DC Dark Legions for being our sponsor this week, and take part in the challenge. See if you can get to level 16. You have got until Thursday next week, 4 o'clock, so you can beat the challenge. Also, I should mention, if you manage to get up to 5 characters to Mythic Legend status, they will give some subs back to the channel. We've already got one person that's already done 3, so they're very close to getting that. So there's more things. So one of you might get a gifted sub free of charge from the game as well. Yeah, you'd think they would, wouldn't you? Or exclamation DC maybe, but I don't know. That's what they gave me. They give me it, I roll with it. That's what you do. Manic, hello. Hey, have you been enjoying the hot weather this week? It's been quite well. Well, no, because ironically, it's been raining here for most of the weekend. It was really hot while I was on my travels last week. I was in Leicester. It was baking hot in Leicester. We were in York. It was baking hot in York. It was really nice up in Macclesfield on the Friday. And then it pissed it down on the Saturday. And the weather wasn't great Sunday, and it wasn't great yesterday either. So everyone else has been saying how great the weather is, and I've been like, it's a bit shit here. So, yeah, unfortunately not. Weather was hot last week, but not this week. Yeah, so I think Sophie's got the same sort of crap weather that we've got. But everyone else last night was saying, God, isn't it a scorcher? And I'm sitting here going, no. But, yeah, it's going to be hot again at the weekend, apparently. Well, that'll be interesting, because I'm off to see a show. Actually, and Dave is going to see the same show. We might mention it, we might not. We'll see if it's any good. We'll tell you next week. But anyway, enough of me waffling on, and enough of talking about our sponsors. Please welcome our co-host who knows the most, who basically just keeps this show running along while I'm just talking absolute garbage. Please welcome Mr. David Jones.
Good evening, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. I've been surviving the warm weather.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're not too far from me, but did you find that it actually went cooler at the weekend? It wasn't that nice.
Oh, it cooled down a little bit on Sunday, which was nice. But I was down in like London Friday and Saturday.
Oh, of course you were. You were away, weren't you?
Yeah, and it was quite hot down there, especially on the Saturday, just walking around.
Yeah,
It wasn't quite as bad down the And the tubes, I thought it might be. I thought that might be a bit of a heat
That
trap.
can be, yeah, that
But
can
actually,
be nasty.
down there was okay, actually. Plenty of nice breezes coming through from the trains or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
and survived it. And it was all right at Wembley on the Friday night as well, which is good.
Yeah.
I was there watching Dua Lipa. We're taking my daughter down there for her birthday. That was a good show. We all enjoyed that.
There you go. Dua Lipa. I don't mind songs. I'm not a fan of all of them, but yeah, I'm guessing she put on a good concert. So
yeah, really good.
Yeah, that's all good. We might as well say we're off to, because we're getting on a bit, and probably some of the chat are going to go to. It's our mates stag do this Saturday. We're off to Cannock Chase Forest. We're going to go see James, supported by Razorlight, Dave and me, amongst some of us, on Saturday night. Sophie says, get a stripper. What, in the middle of Cannock Chase Forest? That sounds a bit dodgy. That sounds like a horror film waiting to happen, really. Would Dave let me rub sun cream on his head?
I'd have to run it by the wife first.
Yeah, you have to run it by the wife. There you go. Pay me, I'll strip for Dave.
Bless.
I'm tempted. There you go. That's what I say. There's an offer there. I'm tempted. What's this? Wow, Manic says, so you've been getting the normal British weather while I've been getting the hot weather. Makes sense. Britain. Yeah. You can never make this shit up. 29 for 29 for next Monday. 29 for next Monday. Do you mean so? For 29 yesterday? Because I didn't feel like 29, but there you go. But there you go. Anyway, what you been playing?
Ooh, I played a few things since last week. So I've played I played for the prologue of the Altars, and I've done a little bit of like the first sort of day after the prologue. Done a little bit of that. So quite enjoyed that so far. As you mentioned, it's quite a cool mix, like base building. And I'm quite liking sort of the resource management, resource gathering side of it. And it seems like quite a cool sci-fi story as well. Yeah. It's one of those cool ones, isn't it, where everything's gone wrong, as it often does in these sci-fi things. Everything goes tits up. Got to try and find a way to survive through it. So I'm quite liking that at the moment. So I'm going to play more of that. I've just played through the Left Behind DLC for Last of Us Part 1, because I hadn't played it since it originally came out.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So I was quite fancy playing for that again. So played that, and obviously the remastered version with the fancier graphics, which looked really nice. Played really well. Enjoyed playing that. Only a short DLC, so also good. And then I've been playing a little bit of Elden Ring Night Rain as well.
Yes,
to see if I can get a bit further in that. I haven't really progressed anywhere. got to the boss a few times.
Yeah.
But then wiped out pretty much straight away.
Okay.
It's one of those ones. It's going to be the same with FBC Firebreak later. If you're not playing with a team, completely depends on the random people you get assigned to.
Okay.
And if you can make it work with no communication. So some games were great, went really well. We managed to survive, saved each other a few times. But then you get those games where no one really knows what they're doing. No one's making a decision. All die pretty quickly. People start quitting out on you, and you can't just start again. Queue for some different randoms and see how it goes. So when it goes well, really good. Thoroughly enjoying it. But it completely depends who you get matched with, unless you've got a team that you're just going to play with on voice comms. Then it'll be next level, be even better.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see how we. See how we get on with that. So just choke on a peanut of all things, which I ate about half an hour ago.
Oh dear.
There you go. Nice. Sophie's obviously talking to iQuail about coming to the stag do now. So yeah, there you go. But that's interesting. Whether you can get any tickets to the show or not, I don't know. That's the thing, because it's a concert, isn't it? So yeah. Anyway, enough of that. So I finished Mind's Eye for my better judgment. I could have played a lot better things. But I finished it. And I have to say, what the fuck?
That's the impression I get from most places.
Yeah, it's funny because the game does get a bit more like a game the longer you go. So it seems really heavy on the cutscenes for the first half of it, and then less so. And it builds up to this thing. And a lot of people said the story was boring, but actually, I thought the story was all right. It was actually, I thought, decent. I've had worse stories in games. But when you get to like the last battle really goes on for a long time, and it does get quite dull because you're not really doing that much. And then it gets to the final cutscene, and it literally just ends, and you kind of go, what? So it's not like they've even finished the story properly on the game. And I was like, what the hell is this shit? And And then it sends you into this free roam thing. And obviously there was all these side missions that you can do. And there's 27 side missions, but you can't play them in the free roam. You have to select them from menus. So allegedly they're going to add more missions. And we know we've got this Agent 47 thing coming up. It's not even a fade to black, Dank. It just ends with no explanation. You're kind of like, it's like they were trying to set it up for a sequel, but badly.
It's never going to happen now.
It's never going to happen.
Not a frigging chance.
But they say more content's going to come, and it had another 2 lots of 3 gigabyte patches. It's still rough. No, Manic, no, not the Agent 47 007 crossover. That's something that's already out. They're bringing Agent 47 into Mind's Eye at some point in the next 2 months, because IO didn't make the game, but they published the game. So Hitman's coming to Mind's Eye, but I think by the time that game might be shut down by the time that happens. But there is this free roam.
Left to care.
Yeah, I know. And there is this free roam thing, which I know when I read the reviews, people said you couldn't do anything in, but you can do stuff now. So I think they've patched it, because I then found some races and other cars and things to do in the free roam, but it's not clear what the fuck you're supposed to do, because you haven't got access to a map. So it's literally free roam and stumble on stuff and then do stuff. And you're like,
it does just sound like a very poorly designed game,
it really
especially by modern standards, because it's going to get compared to everything else that does all these other things well.
Manic has no idea what we're talking about. So this game that came out 2 weeks ago and got what did it get on the show last week? A 3.5 out of 10. And apparently on Metacritic it's at a 2.5, and it's classed as one of the worst games. I streamed this last week, and it was a hilarious mess. But yeah, I completed it, and now I'm kind of like, and? So, yeah, but there you go. If you want to find out what it was all about, watch last week's show, because I'm not wasting time talking about that anymore. So there you go. Quickman, hello, how you doing? Iquel says, that sounds like the Guy Ritchie film, Revolver. It didn't have credits. Yeah, and then there was another edit of that film where it did have credits, but the ending was different, and it was still bad. So there you go. Anyway, enough about Jason Statham movies. Not a good start to their publishing arm. It's not. It's a bad start. Quickman says 3.5 out of 10 in mainstream reviews. May as well be a 0. Well, Metacritic's sitting at a 2.5. I don't know if that's dropped even lower. I've heard someone in charge is putting down the negative criticism to bots. Well, I don't know. It's just badly designed. It's a badly designed game, which shouldn't have come out, but there you go. Anyway, shall we move on to our guest?
Indeed, mate. Let's get going.
So this wonderful gentleman has done many, many streams to raise a vast amount of money for charity over the last couple of years. Not only that, he's a fantastic Twitch streamer, does some incredible stuff that boggles my mind, that he can play multiple retro games that switch every 30 seconds. I still don't know how he does it, and then just keeps jumping and then jumps to the game. It's very impressive how he does it. And on top of that, he has got a fantastic series, which is coming back for a new season called Streamer Stories. And Muggins here will feature in one of the future episodes, because I was very honoured to feature in one of those. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Johnny Beard. Hello, sir.
Hello. How are you doing? Thanks for having me, Max.
Great to see you. Great to have you here. Thank you, Iquel. There's the link. Go follow. A little round of applause. There you go. There you go. A little ripple of applause. He says you can never have enough Jason Statham movie except Revolver. That was shite. True. He's a bit of a good egg, isn't he? Not biased at all. No, you're not biased at all, Sue. At all, whatsoever. No. Nope. There you go. Applause. Yeah. Cracking beard, says Jenny. He has got a cracking beard.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go. Gabbing about. Hello, Gabbing about. First time here. Says Gabs. Not Johnny B.
Johnny B.
Johnny B. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's deliberately 2 letters missing or they.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Beard. Yay! Johnny Beard. Let's pretend that. There we go. Gabs. Not Johnny Beard. There you go. Gabs. Anyway. So for anyone who hasn't seen your channel, doesn't know who you are, please, Johnny, please do tell our wonderful audience who you are and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it was Johnny Bean. I would class myself as a variety retro content creator from North Wales. Yeah, that was a long introduction. Thank you for that. I do a lot of different things. So predominantly I do stream on Twitch, but also on YouTube, and I've started on TikTok as well. I'm getting with the younger folk, trying it out. But on top of that, I do some stuff on YouTube. I also have a podcast, like you mentioned, called Streamer Stories, and it's now going to be entering its 8th season. So we've featured some fantastic content creators on that. The concept of the podcast is we talk to streamers and content creators about the games they played when they were kids and then growing up, and then how it became part and parcel of their everyday life, and then slowly turned them into the content creators that they are today. And it's a fun time. It's something I've been doing for over 4 years now, and it's wonderful. Play retro, play variety, do charity work. We've done a lot of fundraising on the channel and with other communities around our community, and I'm very privileged and honoured to say that we've raised over the last 5 years in excess of £84,000 with various other organisations and charities and communities. Basically, it's not a solo effort by any stretch to hit that amount. So that's me basically.
That is an amazing amount, £84,000.
I still can't believe it's real, to be honest with you. Yeah,
just insane, but brilliantly insane. I love that.
100%. Yeah, it's all through just collaborating with people on mutually agreed projects. Like we've done as I've done from Wales, so a lot of that fundraising has gone with other Welsh streamers. We've built a literal network of Welsh content creators to raise money for a Welsh charity. But other stuff is like Resident Evil. There's a big Resident Evil community out there. We've all come together to raise money for Mind and Mental Health charity with other Resident Evil content creators, just as a mutual love of that game series. So there's a lot of stuff that we do in collaboration with others.
Nice. So we've got your Twitch channel there. If the mods could also drop in Johnny's YouTube channel, when can we expect the new season of Streamer Stories to drop?
So we just announced that we're going to be expecting that in August. I don't have the actual date sorted yet, but what we're doing at the moment is we had a mini sub-podcast series that ran last year called Streamer Tiers. So the idea was that we had previous podcast guests on a new mini series. We did a tier list instead of a podcast about the games they enjoyed. It would be whatever. One streamer talked about the Resident Evil series. One other person talked about Tekken 3. Yeah. So it can be whatever they want it to be. I said to them, you choose what the topic is, we'll do a tier list on it. And so that's now a little sub-series that's now dropping live every Sunday at 6 p.m. BST, and then that'll lead into August. And then in August, we will then hopefully drop in Season 8 official.
Nice, which has got some short guy that wears a purple T-shirt in it. So I apologise in advance for that one.
Oh, it was a fun chat.
It was. I really enjoyed being on the show, so thank you so much for asking me. It was absolute honour to be on it. So, especially when you've had some really cool names, because obviously you've had Ash Millman on, who was on our show 2 weeks ago. Josh Strife Hayes, who, bless him, he was our host at the Content Create panel last year at Timeless and host stuff for Format and things. So, huge Twitch streamer and YouTuber, Josh, and that. So you've had some amazing names, and you got little old me in there. So it's greatly appreciated, mate.
Absolutely, no, definitely not. I don't see that like that at all. I see as someone I really love and respect, and we said that on the podcast, didn't we? And like that, like you said, I'm very privileged to have had some of the guests I've had on the show. That and it was through your event. It was through Timeless that I asked Josh last year. It was like got this little podcast had a thing, and just thought I'd shoot my shot. And fair play to him. Again, he stuck to his word, and he came on the show, and he's such a lovely guy. Yeah, we've featured some fantastic people as well. There's other amazing streamers like Tiffany Lockhart, who's an amazing pillar in the Resident Evil community and the Final Fantasy community. So we featured her before. We've had some fantastic YouTubers on there as well. Primal Liquid, who does a lot of Final Fantasy content, he's been on there. Ash was wonderful last year as well. We had a lovely chat with Ash.
Yeah, Ash is awesome. We like Ash a lot. She was great on the show 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, good fun. Folks, there are the YouTube. There is the YouTube for Streamer Stories and Johnny's Twitch channel. When are you on next? When's your next stream?
Thursday, like 8 p.m. BST. Where we've just started last week. We just started the Cloud Obscure Expedition 33 game.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
very very early doors, but so far really enjoying it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that game. So I'm not a fan of RPGs, and I fell in love with that game completely. So that says a lot of how good it is.
Yeah, we found this out. Thank you for reading video a week, by the way. And we found this out about it. We didn't like RPGs. I was like, I want to put you on my podcast. So, you know.
Yeah. It's just like I get a lot of flack from some people because there's a lot of people that love RPGs on this channel. Like mag hates them, but I was like, not all of them. There's some I do really like. I think they've got to have something about them for me to really enjoy them. And I don't know, just Expedition 33 ticks every box in that game. It's so well done. It's just so well done. So yeah, enjoy it because you enjoy it as much as I did. It was fantastic. So there you go. Okay, folks, shall we crack on with the show?
Yeah, let's get to it, mate.
Let's do it. So this is our, get this for numbers, 222nd show tonight with our guest Johnny Beard. Too late, Sophie. You should have been quicker with your answer. We are talking about some 8 new games for the last 7 days or so. We're going to be talking about the new Tron game, Tron Catalyst. We've got FBC Firebreak, which is a game that is in the Alan Wake and Control universe. We've got Date Everything. Does exactly it says on the tin. We've got the new Lost in Random game and Rematch, the new football game that has come from the team that made Sifu, which is very interesting. Plus a DLC for a game that I loved a lot, but didn't know there was a DLC out. So that's going to be interesting. I'm not going to say what that is yet. So let's crack on with our first game of the night. This is for all you Tron fans out there. There is a brand new Tron game. This came out last Tuesday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC, and Apple Arcade. And this is Tron Catalyst.
I think you know more than you're saying. Unlucky for you, you survived the explosion.
If you de-res me, I'll just go again.
Normal programs don't survive what you've been through. So I'm thinking you might be my ticket out of this code dump. The data you're hiding, the things you know, they have value.
I'll stop you.
With what army? Because that's what it'll take once I'm where I deserve to be.
I'm not done.
There you go. So that while we anticipate or wait for the new Tron film that we've been told is coming out with soundtrack by 9 Inch Nails, this is what we got. So before we get that film, so Dave, tell us a little bit more about this because it does have like a mobile game kind of feel to it. I'm not going to lie from looking at that, but
yeah, it's probably a bit sort of down to budget. I think Bithell Games that make this, you know, they're not AAA level. They haven't got like hundreds of millions to spend against it, and I don't think Tron's a big enough property anyway for that sort of money to be put against a game for it. But Bithell Games, they made a previous game in the Tron universe called Tron Identity, and this game takes place in a city that was introduced in that previous game.
Okay.
You're playing as a character called Exo. I think it's like a program within the Tron universe, and your character is investigating various glitches that are cropping up in the game world. We're trying to like figure out what these are, solve the threat that they're that they're causing in the digital world. Whereas the previous game was like a visual novel, this one is more like a bit of an action adventure game with some puzzle solving to it, and your character's got like a time manipulation ability. You can sort of do like a time loop. It's like I think it's about trouble and go back through a level with knowledge of what you've just learned from playing through it. You've got a few bits you can do in there. They've got the light cycles in there that Tron's famous for that you can use to navigate around the world. I think it looks okay. I can't say I'm a massive Tron fan myself, so it's not on my list to rush out and play, but I think for anyone who likes Tron, at least it's something you can play in that universe. Looks perfectly okay. Not stand out at all.
I'm a bit like you. I'm not a massive fan of the Tron films. I've watched both of them. But I know there's some people that love them. This looks all right. Is my opinion as well. It's not really grabbed me. I saw the trailer. I was like, looks all right. Some people are liking the look of it. Some people aren't in chat. Johnny, your thoughts on this? You a Tron fan?
I'm not. So it's kind of similar vibes, to be honest with you. It's and like what they said really is it's not probably had the budget really in the series to really give it a big pump, in terms of like a AAA title, which is kind of a shame, because you'd think that a AAA Tron title would actually have some interesting legs, but obviously clearly they haven't got the budget or the fan base for it. But for what it is, it looks okay. Yeah, I think it's that isometric style, isn't it? Like almost like the Metroidvania style again. That's very popular right now. So they've obviously kind of gone with the style of games that are popular right now and done the best with it to put a Tron like label on it. Almost, it feels, but yeah, it looks fine.
Looks right. Reviews, I'm not going to say because people are guessing the scores, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. But they are saying one thing that's a shame is the lack of music. Like you'd expect, like a really good soundtrack, but again, probably down to budget. It's quite a very basic soundtrack. But generally, people are saying it's all right. It's about a 12-hour game, and they said it knows not to outstay its welcome. So it's kind of like you don't actually get bored of it, which is interesting. So there's some pros and there's some cons with it, which is good. So for those who've not been on the show or seen what we're doing, you might notice that people are putting numbers in the chat. We don't review the games, but I scour the internet to find tons of different reviews from all different websites and then basically condense them into an average score. You can have whole numbers and half numbers. You may agree with the score, you may not. You might look at other websites and go, well, that website says that, and we've said that. It don't matter. It's a bit of fun. But if you get it correct, you can get a shout out in the chat. So I'm the only one who knows the scores because obviously I've written the show. Dave, Johnny will get to guess, and the chat will get to guess. Mag lies about the score. What if I did? It wouldn't make any fucking difference, would it? I could lie and no one would know. The score's the score, what I say. So let's see what people are saying. So Manic reckons a 7. Danka says a 7. Jenny says an 8. Flame says a 7. iQuell, I think this has probably got a 7.5. Computer Club Matt, good evening, Matt. How are you? Evening. It's a 7 for this one. M says a 7.5. Kindred said a 7. So I'll start with you, Dave. What do you reckon this has got?
I'm going to go for a 7.
It's
like your perfect average 7 game.
Yeah, like it's good, but it's nothing amazing. But you get a couple of hours out of it, and it's all right. Okay, Johnny, what do you reckon this got?
I'm going to go a bit lower. I'm going to go for a 6.5 here. I don't think anyone's really gone that low. Can I say Comp Club? I love the Speedball Avatar. Love that game. But 6.5 for me, I'd say.
6.5. Okay. Last chance, folks. Get your scores in. This is a Tron Catalyst, which came out last Tuesday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, Nintendo Switch, and Apple Arcade. And if there are no more guesses and no more scores, I can tell you that this did get a 7 out of 10. So there you go. Did get a 7 out of 10. So congratulations. Kindred just did Kindred change his score? Or did he say 7 earlier anyway? Or maybe he didn't. Manic, you got it right. Kindred, you got it right. Danky, you got it right. Flame, you got it right. Matt, you got it right as well. So congratulations to all them. Thank you, Sophie. She can do all the shout outs. And Dave gets a shout out. If you want to give Dave a shout out in chat, it's !Dave in chat. But Dave isn't a streamer, so we can't shout out his channel. So we have to do it in a different way. How would you like your first shout out of the evening, Dave?
You can do a bit of spinning on your chair, mate.
Bit of spinning on my chair. Okay. Luckily, the dogs went back, so I'm not going to kick the dogs over. They went. Mojo and Pixie went back. They were on stream last night. Here we go. Get ready for this.
Go for it. Very nice.
There you go. So, first one. Whee! Says Jenny. There you go. First one done. Moving swiftly on before I get dizzy to our next game. And now this actually came out in April on Nintendo Switch, but it's now got its release for all other consoles and PC because it's on PS5, Xbox Series X. This also came out last Tuesday. This, we are going to show you the trailer for Soulstone Survivors. Let's have a look at this one.
I swore upon the Dawnstone, alongside my brothers and sisters in arms, to surrender my soul to the Void Hunters and to end the nightmare of the Great Void. We've hunted through thousands of battlefields, claiming their soul stones to feed our power, and from their corruption, we forged our strength. Until my final breath is taken. Through the darkness, we rise. And now, I finally found you, Void King. Soulstone survivors, unleash chaos, become a god.
PlayStation. Ah, that PlayStation noise. There you go. So, Dave, tell us a bit about this, because obviously this has got its release on everything else literally last Tuesday, and it was on Switch first. Normally, sometimes it's the other way around, but this came out on Switch back in April. But tell us a bit more about this one.
Yeah, this is it's a prettier looking Vampire Survivors. It's that type of auto battle. You know, pick a character, all got slightly different skills, all play a little bit differently. And see how long you can last for in the levels where there's just tons and tons of enemies that just keep coming at you. And as with Vampire Survivors, you'll level up, be able to pick different skills and weapons and powers and stuff like that, just to change how you play, change how your character plays. So I think it's got an absolute ton of progression options. So there's a lot there if you really want to dig into it. You can set each character to play quite differently. So it's apparently got quite a deep bit of gameplay there if you're looking for that. But yeah, it really is just sort of Vampire Survivors. I think the only other sort of things it offers, it has got a boss rush mode in there if you just want to play the bosses.
Nice. I
think there's another mode where you can just play against these massive Tyson characters that just keep coming in. So you've got a few extra modes to it there. But yeah, if you like Vampire Survivors, looking for a slightly prettier auto battle in that genre, there you go. It's meant to be pretty decent, I believe.
All right. Johnny, your thoughts on this one? Did you ever play Vampire Survivors? Have you played an auto battle?
I've not really played this genre. No, Vampire Survivors came out of nowhere, didn't it? And it really, really did well. And I was going to get it because I remembered all the hype about it. And generally, it's not my type of game. But seeing the amount of love for it got me interested. But I must say, like they said, it looks really pretty. Whereas Vampire Survivors was quite bland, do we say, in terms of its aesthetic? But again, it was very much a very early indie game, wasn't it, in that respect? So I don't think that they expected the success that I got. So. Yeah, it looks really nice. Again, not my thing. For what it is, it's very aesthetically pleasing, and it's something that I might consider because it's the type of game that maybe I should play more of, to be honest.
Yeah. Again, with me, it's very much one of those. I love Vampire Survivors. I think if this landed on a game service, I would try it, but I don't think I would go out my way to buy it. Does that make sense? But if it landed on PS Plus or giving away on Epic Games or whatever, I'd give it a go. So it looks all right. Folks, get your scores in. The first person who's got the score in for this one is Danka, saying at 8.5, so he's going quite high on that one. Johnny, I'll start with you, I think, on this one. What do you reckon this averaged out at?
I was just going to go with an 8. Yeah, I was thinking 8. 7.5 8, but I'm going to lock in on 8.
Okay, going for an 8. All right. Jenny coming in with a 7. Manic coming with an 8 as well, so Manic agrees with yourself, Johnny. iQuail saying a 7.5. Flame also saying an 8. Dave, what say you?
I think I'll join Dank with the 8.5.
Okay, going with an 8.5. You think it's going to hit a bit of a higher mark there?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Chat, get your scores in. This is Soulstone Survivors, which came out on Switch back in April, but as of last Tuesday is available on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Kindred also coming in with an 8.5. So I can tell you that this averaged out as an 8.5.
Hey.
So yeah, so did pretty well. Got really good reviews for this. Possibly slightly higher than the Nintendo Switch reviews, believe it or not. So only by, I think, by about 0.5. So Kindred, well done. Congratulations. Danker, well done. You got it right as well. And Dave, flipping out. Dave, you're 2 for 2 now, which is pretty good going. So how would you like your second shout out?
Why don't you do your war come from the side of the screen?
Okay, real me or pixelated me?
We'll go with real you this week.
Real,
We'll go
okay,
pixelated
right.
you last week.
Yeah, I mean, you might be on the run, so we might have to use that again and use pixelated in a bit. So
We'll save it for later, just in case.
All right, okay. All right, you ready?
Go for it.
Okay. Dave!
Very good.
There you go. Gilfly, good evening. How you doing, buddy? Great to see you. How's it going? So there you go. Those are our first 2 games of the night. Let's talk a little bit about some gaming news. And I've not watched this yet. I meant to watch this over the weekend, but I still haven't a chance. But on Thursday, I believe, there was a new Nintendo Direct, all about the new Donkey Kong game that comes out in July. But I did do a bit of research and find out what was announced. And it's quite surprising, actually, because we've seen a lot of this game already. But people are like, oh, we're even more excited for this because of what was shown. And there's some unexpected things in the game that people weren't expecting. One, you have a new sidekick in the game. And everyone's like, well, is it Cranky Kong? Is it Diddy Kong? Not. It's a younger version of Pauline from Mario Odyssey. Now, if you don't know, Pauline was the mayor of the Mario Odyssey game. And this is obviously a prequel to Mario Odyssey because she's a kid in this. She's still a singer, but she has the ability to basically sing and destroy items and help basically Donkey Kong dig, because you can dig giant holes, which looks really cool. But also her singing abilities can also turn Donkey Kong into different kinds of creatures, such as a zebra and an ostrich, which can drop eggs on its enemies. But it also means, because you've got this character, something that people weren't expecting was the game can actually play co-op, which people weren't expecting. So you can actually play as Pauline as well if someone else is playing Donkey Kong on this like 3D platformer game. And the best bit is you can play it like together, or you can do couch co-op. But they're also doing something that obviously a number of games have done recently, especially the studio that brought us It Takes Two and Split Fiction, is there's like a friend pass for it. So if someone owns the game, you can then get someone else to play the game, even if they don't own it. And the best bit is they don't even need a Switch 2 to play it. They can play it on a normal Switch, which I thought was really cool. Now, how that might handle, I don't know, because the game is built for a Switch 2, so it might be a bit of an oddity. But yeah, so that I thought there was quite some unique things that they announced, which were really cool. There are returning characters that we've seen. Yes, Cranky Kong is in there somewhere, and Diddy Kong. We don't know what they play, how they come into the game, or that. But there's also a weird feature where you can carve statues in the game to basically make Donkey Kong statues and faces, and basically it's like stuff that you can do to be creative as well. And some of you OGs will love to hear that, yes, the DK rap is back. All beautifully redone for this new game. So yeah, some of the things that are in the game. I was quite hyped for this game. I'm looking forward to, hopefully we're going to stream this once I get back from my travels at the end of the month, next month. I'm really looking forward to this. but now they've like added a load of other stuff. I do find Pauline's a bit of an odd character, but I guess how it works into the narrative of the game and how she is the companion in this one. But I think it sounds really cool that you can do this, and for the fact that you can play over 2 different generations of Switches with a friend and they don't need a copy, I was like, that's really smart on Nintendo for a change, especially after the debacle of, oh, would you like to know how to use your Switch? Well, pay £7 and we'll tell you. So I'll start with Dave, and I'll ask chat as well their thoughts on the new Donkey Kong game, what got unveiled. But start with Dave. What did you think of what was unveiled?
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. I did watch the direct. It was quite nice surprise to see you've got Pauline in there. I think as well as being in obviously Mario Odyssey. I think she was the character that Mario was trying to rescue back in the original arcade games.
Ranker has just said that. Yeah.
Yes. So there is a fair bit of history with that character.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite cool that she's there. I'd say from what I saw of the game, I think structurally it looks like it's going to sort of be very similar to how Mario Odyssey played. In that you've got these like decent sized levels that you can wander around and just do stuff in and find stuff in, like where Mario found like the moons hidden throughout Mario Odyssey levels. In this one, Donkey Kong's going to be finding the sort of golden bananas that are like hidden around the world or buried down in the ground. And you got to smash your way through. So it looks very much structurally like it's going to be like that, which is a good thing because I really enjoyed Mario Odyssey. Love mess around those levels, great fun. So yeah, I quite like the look of it. I think it's going to be quite a cool game. It's definitely looking better than I was expecting. I thought it looked good, but I think seeing the direction, what the extra stuff in there, definitely looks better now from what I've seen there.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this now. I still need to watch the direct, but I've watched all the other stuff.
Worth watching.
Iqual says my youngest daughter was made up with the trailer. She keeps asking for honky dong. That might be a different thing, but we'll leave that. I've never played any of the Donkey Kong games, but I like the look of the new one in July. Now we all, Kindred says, now we all know he's the bongos back. Yeah, bring back the bongos. So there you go. Johnny, did you catch the direct? Have you seen anything about this new Donkey Kong game? Are you excited for it?
Yeah, so I actually played it, and it does look really good. Like I'm not a massive like Nintendo guy, not for lack of love, just more lack of money. Really, you can only kind of focus in on the PC really at the moment. Unfortunately, I only had Nintendo consoles as like the side console if I could afford one. And I've got a Switch belatedly, but not the Switch 2 yet. So, but looking at the trailer, it does look really, really good, and it's nice to see. Them bringing in quite an obscure character like Pauline, and it's good to keep that relevant. And I think Nintendo have been quite clever here in terms of like the Switch 2 release. The games available on launch was obviously a little bit critical in terms of the lack of them. But this is looking really nice, really fresh. Again, when people talk about like Nintendo titles, we haven't had a Donkey Kong title in the longest time, unfortunately, and I think a lot of people have been clamoring for it, haven't they? So kind of merging almost like the Mario fan base with Odyssey with the Donkey Kong is I think is actually partly a stroke of genius. And again, when you look at the trailer, you'll see all the breaking through of the ground and stuff like that. And it looks really fresh and innovative, to be honest. It's what Nintendo are really good at is thinking outside of the box, isn't it? So I think it looks very, very good.
Yeah. I can't wait to play this, and we hope to be doing a stream of this. As I say, it comes out as I scoot off to South America, so we'll probably be doing a stream of this as soon as I get back from South America, which will be at the end of July. But we want to cover this, so it's in the diary. But yeah, looking forward to it. Fingers crossed it turns out to be as good as it looks. So if we find out anything more, we'll be talking about Donkey Kong in future weeks on this very show. Moving on to our next game. This game is a game that ties a number of other games in a universe. If you enjoyed, which was practically nearly everybody's game of the year in 2019, if you loved the game Control, obviously going back just 2 years ago, we had the wonderful Alan Wake 2, which is also set in the wonderful Control universe as well, because the whole Alan Wake Control universe is all one big thing. And now we've got a different type of game. While we are waiting for the sequel to Control, which we know is happening because there was teasers in the last DLC of Alan Wake 2, they brought out Remedy brought out something a little bit different. This is FBC Firebreak, a three-person first-person shooter game set in the Control universe. This came out last Tuesday. It's on PS5, Xbox Series X, PC, but is also free on Game Pass and free on PS Plus as well. So let's check out the trailer for this.
It's been 6 years now since we've been locked in with the hiss. I don't care about your day job if you can hold a gun and use a tool. Firebreak needs you. I'll be frank with you, this ain't an easy shift, but at least you won't be alone. Your fellow Firebreakers will have your back. Fighting together, fixing together, and hell, even showering together. If you can stand your ground and stick together, it'll be more than enough to survive.
Corrupted item loose on site.
On my way. That's the job. Sounds simple enough. Good. I've got a liability waiver here with your name on it.
There you go. Now, I've been looking forward to playing this, and we will be streaming this tomorrow night. And not only that, I have been given a copy by Remedy to give away on Xbox tomorrow night. So we'll be doing a giveaway courtesy of Remedy. Thanks, guys. Gotta love Sam Lake. With all the dancing. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing this. So we're doing this as a community night tomorrow night. So I've been holding off, even though it's been out a week now. But yeah, I'm very interested to see something different. But you can tell it's very, very much set in the Control universe. There's things from the Control game that are in there, and the bunkers and everything. It all looks very like they tied that in beautifully. So what else can you expect from this game, Dave?
Yeah, well, it's just like it is set in the Control universe. It's set in the oldest house where you were playing in Control. This is set 6 years after the events of that game.
Oh, okay.
So you're playing as like a member of the FBC, the Firebreak team, and the Hiss, who we fought in Control, are kind of back, and they're doing various bad things in the oldest house again. And I think the way this one's structured, it's a free-player PvE game. I think there's like currently 5 different sort of levels, jobs, as I call them, that you can do in this. And you need to go in as a team of 3. And kind of like I was saying earlier with Night Rain, definitely help if you're playing in a team with voice comms. So you can sort out with each other who's doing what. Call for help if you need it. Because if you're just playing with randoms again, you want to be playing. Hopefully, you get paired with decent randoms who will know what they're doing. Because there's no voice comms otherwise. You can just ping things in the world. It's got a little ping system, but otherwise you can't talk. There's no proximity chat or anything like that. But use a team of 3. You've got to make your way through these levels and try and stop whatever the Hiss is doing in each one. I think each one's got a slightly different theme. But each character has got, a various skill specific to them that they can use to solve various problems as they come up. Like the one character can fire like a water cannon. That'll help sort of douse some of the enemies and get rid of some of their abilities, make them easier to kill. Yeah. So you do need teamwork there to get through these. I think you can go in solo, but I don't suppose it's a good experience like that because, like with Night Rain, it's a game that is built for 3 players to play. So you can go in solo, but it's not the way it's been built to be played. I think it looks okay. It's changed from a third person to a first person perspective for this one. But it's not set like a live service game. It is just, you've got the game. It's kind of as it is. I think they are going to add some stuff to it, but it's not set like a live service game.
Which is good because there's no season pass, no having to spend money to upgrade. And
there are some cosmetic things you can buy if you want, but not. It's not like there's loads of cosmetic things or anything like that. Not like something like Fortnite that's full of them. But I think some people have, from what I've read, some people have said, it can be quite good fun playing through the levels, but then once you play through, kind of all you've then got to do is play through them again, or like a harder difficulty, to then progress a bit more, unlock more things. So it's a game kind of like built around repetition, playing through the same levels over and over again. So it could wear out its welcome fairly quick for some people. Because for me, once I play through it once, I don't think I'd really want to bother going.
I think it would need it if you've got something like, because it feels very much like it's like a Left 4 Dead game.
Yeah.
But Left 4 Dead had tons and tons and tons of levels, even before they brought out the DLCs. This feels like it needs more levels, possibly.
It did. I think they are talking about more levels coming, but obviously a case of waiting because they're not there yet.
Yeah.
But at least you say it's free on Game Pass and PS Plus, so that could attract some people to it. So it might have a bit of a community that sticks with it for that.
I think the only downside is you're playing on PC. It's 40 quid on PC. That's the only downside. But if you got PS Plus or you got Xbox Game Pass, then you're laughing really because it's probably worth it. Johnny, your thoughts? Have you played other Remedy games connected to this universe, or are you interested in this kind of spin-off?
So no, I haven't played them. I'm very interested in them. I remember the first Alan Wake coming out and thinking, oh, okay. And then never got to play it. And then I heard about Control and then thought that was good. Never realised they were connected at all. And then it wasn't until Alan Wake 2 came out, obviously a massive critical acclaim game. And then I was like, okay, I really need to play these. And I keep meaning to play Alan Wake 1. So I want to start from like the beginning and make my way through the series. But I've not, I genuinely didn't know this again was another spin-off from that universe, so that's kind of interesting to know that. And my vibes were watching from the trailer was had no idea about this game until I was looking at it today. It was Left 4 Dead. It's very the trailer feels very Left 4 Dead 2 in terms of the quirkiness of the sassiness of the characters and stuff like that. I really felt that coming through, and I'm very optimistic. Looking at the trailer, I think it was presented very well, but again, looking at the reviews, it doesn't look like it's quite. Yeah, maybe it's not overstaying its welcome, and I think that is unfortunately kind of a common thing I've noticed really when it comes to this genre of game. When it comes to dare I say spin-offs of it, like another example I can think of is the Resident Evil universe doing RE-verse, and that game didn't do well at all, and people were expecting something more, and it just if you're gonna, they kind of go, you kind of need to hit top heavy, I think, with these type of games if you're gonna do it that way, whereas they kind of hope to filter in content, and I just don't feel like that's a good strategy marketing wise for doing this type of game if you're going to jump in from the side like Resident Evil tried, and now it looks like Remedy are trying from here, because you want to get people hooked straight away and continuing to do so. You can't one and done it, gone are the days there we said like Dead by Daylight did that, but they were pioneers of the genre, let's be honest, and they've managed to keep it fresh for God, goodness me, coming up to around a decade, surely. So other people trying to jump on it, they're not going to be able to have that momentum that Dead by Daylight were privileged to have, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think this is the thing. I'm kind of torn. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy this for a stream, but it's one of those is like, where's Left 4 Dead? I played Left 4 Dead 2. I played over and over and over and over again. This might not be one that I do with this. It'll be like a novelty to play and then maybe dip back into it when the new levels come in. But I can't see me playing a lot of this.
I think back when Left 4 Dead was out, you didn't have that much more choice that was similar, did you? Whereas
now we're a bit spoiled.
Spoiled for free-to-play games, spoiled for multiplayer games. There's so much choice. I think it's the kind of one where a lot of people dip into it, especially because it's on free on Game Pass and PS Plus, but probably won't stick with it for long. I wouldn't be surprised if people move on fairly quickly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see what people are thinking. Sophie, thank you very much for being here. Good night. You take care, lovely. Take care. We'll see you soon. So let's go. Manic says I'm going to go for a 7, even though I've not played it yet. Danka started with a 7, but then said, when I mentioned about the price, because it's 40 quid normally, said I didn't think of that price wise. So dropped to a 6.5. Flame saying a 7. iQual saying a 7.5. Gilfly saying a 7.5. Dave, I'll start with you this time. What do you reckon this got?
I'm going to try a 7 for this one.
Going for a 7. Okay. Johnny?
Well, if it was going just on the trailer, I would have said a similar score. But yeah, I unfortunately had to look at I looked at the review. So I don't know obviously what your score is naturally when you've looked at the averages, but I'm going to go lower with that. I'll go for a 6.5.
Going for a 6.5. Okay. Kindred saying a 7. Saying don't look at the reviews, by the way.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. I mean, it doesn't mean you'll get them right, because obviously you can look at many reviews and obviously I do an average, so it doesn't matter. But yes, going for a 7. Anybody else, folks? This is FBC Firebreak, which came out last Tuesday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, and is free on Game Pass and PS Plus. And don't forget, we'll be streaming it tomorrow at 8:30, and I have a copy of the game to give away, courtesy of Remedy. So if you do like the look of the game, you might win a copy tomorrow night. I can tell you that this is interesting because, again, this is a game that has very mixed reviews, right? So I know GamerRanks spoke of it quite highly, and in their review was like, I don't get why people are not liking this game. But you got other game companies that were kind of not really loving it and saying it's okay, but it runs out. Ironically, a review dropped literally about an hour before I finished writing the show from GameSpot today, who gave it the highest score. They love this. They gave it an 8 out of 10, which was like kind of amazing. But taking all the things into account, it was very polarized. But it literally, and Danker's going to kick himself here because he shouldn't have changed his score because the average did work out at a 7. So I think it's sitting on about a 6.5 on Metacritic, I think. Or it was when I looked yesterday. But it averaged out at 7 from all the reviews that I got. So Kindred, congratulations. You got it right. Dave, you got it right. You're 3 for 3 now. But yeah, Danker, you changed your score. I was sitting there going, he's going to be all right. He's got it right, but he changed it. Flame, you got it right. So congratulations. Manic, well done. You got it right as well. So if I can have some shout outs, please. iQuail, if you'd be so kind. I know Jesse's probably lurking as well. So anyone who can do the shout outs for that, greatly appreciated. So there you go. Dave, how would you like your shout out for your 3 for 3? And so Kindred, actually. So you and Kindred are doing pretty well.
Awesome. This one, mate. Go behind your chair and jump up.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see if we can hear your knees crack.
Yeah. Manic's doing all right. 2 out of 3. I think Danker's on 2 out of 3 as well. So some of you are doing really good tonight. Here we go. Watch my knees crack. God, it cracked even before I went down then. I don't know if you heard that. Oh, God, that does not feel good. Okay. Oh, it cracked. I don't know. Okay. Dave!
Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Even before I moved, I went crack, and then I went down, went crack, and it was like, oh, God. There you go. Crack knees. There you go. Now, from some craziness in the oldest house to basically being in a house where you can fall in love with everything. Literally everything. That's why this game is called Date Everything. Here's the trailer.
Peggy 16.
They say love sees not with the eyes, but with the heart. Perhaps that's why it turns up where you least expect it. Wait, so you're telling me you can date everything? The washing machine, the chair, the refrigerator?
Time for a snack.
This door, that door, even front and back door.
What are you looking at?
The fan, the wall, the microwave, the toilet, the dust bunny behind the couch. All right then. The curtains, bed, treadmill, mousetrap, dishwasher, desk, piano, dirty laundry, clock, candelabra, the TV, bath, towels, rubber duck, shower, floor, ceiling, shelves, ironing board, trash can, air fryer, vacuum cleaner, the devs, a glitch in the game itself, the shadows, water, earth, fire, air, your overwhelming sense of existential dread. You can even date the kitchen sink.
Everything leads to love. You can date everything.
So remember, love isn't where the heart is told to look, but where it dares to wander. Date Everything, out now.
Team 17.
There you go. Before we start talking about this, that dust bunny looked mighty fine. Just saying. John Unicycle, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. He says, does that mean Timeless will be 18 months? Because you've been subscribed for 16 months. Don't know. I thought it was like 49 days away. I'm confused. Tanker says, whoever chooses the saw will regret their decisions. Probably. 0 out of 10. If you can't date a frying pan, 7 out of 10 for a new unique style of game. Well, I believe that Troy Baker is a toaster or some item, I heard. So it's all these well-known actors and actresses like voiceover. It says lots of well-known names in there. But yeah, he's apparently an item. That one door caught my eye. Very nice. Well, as I said, Dust Bunny. Gets a thumbs up from me. Dave, tell us about literally dating everything. I think you can date the fourth wall in this game by the sounds of it because you're breaking it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you ever looked around your house at all the stuff that's there and kind of thought, if it was a person, I'd fuck it. Well, there you go. It's a dating sim where you can. For whatever reason, your character gets hold of a pair of glasses that, when you wear them, make an anthropomorphized version of the object, whether it be like the sink, the fridge, a clock. It becomes a person, and you can just start chatting to it, form a relationship with it, which can either turn to like love, friendship, or hate. And you can pick your favorite, chat away to them. As you say, I think a lot of sort of famous voice actors are in here.
Yeah.
So you'll probably recognise a few voices. But yeah, it's just a bit of a different take on a dating sim, really.
Yeah.
I don't think it takes itself too seriously, and the art style looks quite cool. There's some quite nice drawings there.
Yeah. Sue says every house item is a goal.
Yeah.
Could she? Maybe not. Maybe not when the toaster's on. Just saying.
Definitely on.
Yeah. Johnny, after we've just completely your thoughts on this one?
Yeah. I didn't know about this game again until this week because I saw a lot of my streamer friends playing it and getting keys for it and stuff, and it was like, what the heck is this? Again, Team 17 are fantastic. They're such a great, innovative UK-based publisher, aren't they? So we've got to give them some love where it's due. But I get real Dream Daddy vibes from this game, which is fantastic dating sim. Made by the great Game of Grumps guys, wasn't it? Which I thoroughly enjoyed a few years back. Looking at just again, I don't know anything about the game apart from that. Obviously, what we see is what we get. Potentially, you can date anything. And in terms of I think the trailer is very clever in how it presents itself. Like the art style, like they say, it's really eye catching. Lots of voice actors that are very memorable. I would recommend that they probably put some of those voice actors into the names of the trailer, probably, because I'm sure that would sell the game better, is knowing how many people are involved in this project. But I think I'm intrigued is the word I would say, because the game trailer doesn't really show how far does this go. In terms of how many characters there are to date, there's loads. Whereas in just using Dream Daddy as an example, it's 7 dads you can date or something like that, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a good 20, 30, 40, maybe more characters in this. Oh, yeah. How much detail does it actually go into it as an actual dating sim is what I want to know. Because if it's just selling for the sake of selling it as a concept, which is very niche, I'm just intrigued, as I said, because I'd love to know how far this goes. Because if it goes to those details, times however many characters, things you can date, this could be a heck of a game.
Yeah. Kindred said it's that batshit of a game. It'll probably do well. It probably will. It probably will. Let's see. We got a couple of scores in already. Games Guru, good evening. Good to have you here, buddy. Let's have a look what people are saying. Obviously, Manic's already said a 7 out of 10. Let's have a look. Scrolling down here. Danker's saying an 8.5, so I reckon it's going to be pretty high. Is no one else put any scores in yet? Are those the only 2 scores? If I've missed your score, please do put it in the chat. But Johnny, we'll start with you. What do you reckon?
I want it to be as good as I hope it is. And again, just seeing the hype from the Twitch community about this game on Twitter this week, I'm going to go with an 8. Okay,
going for an 8. Flame also agrees with you, Johnny, saying an 8. Iqual saying a 7.5. Dave, what say you on this one?
I was thinking an 8 as well.
Going for an 8 as well. Chat, get your scores in. This came out last Tuesday as well. A lot of games came out when we were doing our last show, but obviously we couldn't fit them in because the reviews didn't come out until the next day. This is Date Everything, which came out last Tuesday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. We're still wondering what the fuck we just saw to vote. True. Sue said, I'm going to go with a 7.5. Kindred saying an 8 as well. Any more for any more? This is your last chance. If not, I can tell you this did exceptionally well. This got an 8.5 out of 10 on average. This scored really, really well. So, Danker, congratulations. I think you're the only one that got it right. So, you did very, very well on that. Very well. So congratulations. So Danker is Dave. Your streak is now broken. You're on level with some others. Kindred's streak is also broken as well. So you're all kind of like on level surf now. I never thought so many people would be interested in, but I think that's supposed to be banging a fridge. Banging a fridge. I know you could
I
probably
guess you're right there.
Yeah, you could be banning a fridge as well. It depends what it's done to you. But we'll see. Yeah, there you go. Yes, banging. There you go. Anyway, we have got some more games and more news coming up. But obviously, we are literally, dear God, less than 50 days away from a certain thing called Timeless Gaming Convention. We are going to have some more announcements coming up, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, because we've got to announce 2 more panels. We've got to load all the exhibitors to announce. Got to load all the partners and stuff and everything else that's going on. Plus, a brand new area to Timeless, which we will be unveiling very soon, something that we've never done before, which will be open to everybody as well. So look out for future announcements. But for those who may not know what Timeless is or might not have seen what we've announced so far, check this out on this little trailer. Here we go. Hi, I'm Middle Aged Gamer Guy, and I'm very excited to announce that Timeless 2025 is coming to Liverpool here at the Cairns Brewery. There you go, folks. So Timeless tickets are still on sale. We've sold off quite a bit of the tickets, and I think there's literally only 20 VIP tickets left. So if you want to come to the VIP party, if you have been selected as a content creator by the Gamer Guide, or you've bought a VIP ticket, you can come along to the VIP evenings. First time we've ever done one of these, but we are basically got an evening where you can buy food and drink from Punch Time, is one of our 2 venues that we're using for this event. And not only that, get to meet all our special guests, some that you saw on that screen, plus our Tomb Raider panel, plus some other guests we haven't announced yet. But you get to meet them and have a chat with about 200 people. So it's a little bit of a smaller affair compared to the main event. But we have also got the wonderful Mr. Jason Bradbury. I literally spoke to him on the phone last week, and he was plugging it on his very show on Sunday. I know iQuell was there watching him plug it. He will be there showing us 15 minutes of footage of the film that he was promoting at last year's Timeless. He's got 15 minutes, which no one else will have seen. We get the exclusive on this, and he's going to do a Q&A session and get your thoughts, which will lead to that big scene then being edited for the final film, which is really, really cool. So that's for your VIP tickets. Normal tickets are still available, plus your family tickets. Even evening tickets, if you can't get there on the day, you can turn up at 5 o'clock and get in for a cheaper entry. Over 300 arcade machines to play. and games consoles in the Arcane's arcade. And then we've got a ton of exhibitors, 2 stages, and a ton of content for you to enjoy, plus like 2 different restaurants and 5 bars to buy drinks from. So loads of stuff for you to do, which is possibly our biggest and possibly our best timeless that we've ever done. So get your tickets now. Don't delay. Johnny is one of our wonderful content creators who will be there. If you want to buy a ticket, he has a code, which is Beard25. So you can get 15% off all tickets, including VIP tickets. So do use his code. Go support Johnny. We will have lots of prizes and stuff to announce very soon as well, because we've been working quite hard behind the scenes on certain things. So some of the content creators that are helping to sell tickets will also be put in a draw to win a prize. One of them last year won a GTO Mega Chair. I'm not allowed to say what the prize is yet this year, even though we got it confirmed today, but that's all I'm going to say. But it's worth quite a bit of money. So that's all we'll say. So there you go. Dave, hello, Dave. Dave is in chat. He says, Timeless is cancelled. Runs. Can I win the prize? You'll have to start selling tickets, Dave. If not, I'll steal it. I mean, you can do that as well. There you go. I'll just get a second one, and then we'll give it away, and Dave steals one. There you go. So get your tickets now for Timeless, folks. You're not going to regret it. It's going to be the best gaming event of the year, hands down. Better than other ones that have letters like EGX in. So there you go. Can't wait to get my dig in there. Shuffle that round. Anyway, moving and swiftly on. Let's move on to our next game. Now, this one I played the demo of a couple of weeks back. This also came out on Tuesday. This is out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Nintendo Switch. And is technically a sequel to a game that I very much loved, but they kind of shifted this game, like the way it plays. It's very different to the first game. We're going to be watching the trailer for Lost in Random, The Eternal Die. Let's have a look at the trailer for this.
This is all you will ever be. The one who failed her sister, who destroyed Random, whose heart was lost to darkness.
Dice wielder. Oh, luck has finally turned. You can break us free from Mare's daunting grasp.
I didn't come here to save anyone. I'm here to end Mare and destroy the Black Die.
We can play this game forever.
We'll have these weapons out of our body and into your hands in no time.
I know every wound, sorrow, and fear behind that mask.
You might have built this game on misery and sorrow, but I have fortune on my side. All belongings infused with magic.
This little adventure ends now!
Let's iterate on your ending.
Fighting my way through your games over and over. Maybe it doesn't change the past, but maybe it changes me.
As long as there is misery, I am eternal.
PlayStation. There's that PlayStation noise again. So yeah, obviously I did play the demo of this. I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit disappointed by the demo because I really loved Lost in Random, and this is very much a completely different style of game to what it was. But I know a lot of people have been really enjoying this since it's come out. So for those who don't know, Dave, tell us a little bit more what Lost in Random is and how this sequel is so different.
Yeah, well, I never played the first one. I think that was more of a puzzle game, wasn't it? Whereas this one is a roguelike game, more in the style as in like Hades. Plays much like that. And this is like a sequel to the previous game. You're not playing as a character from the original game. You're playing as the antagonist in this one.
Yeah.
So the antagonist, who was the sort of the evil queen in that one, she was using a weapon called the Black Dice, I think, in the first game. Yeah. Following the events at the end of the first one, she's been sort of sucked inside of this Black Dice into like a little pocket dimension that's within there, and in there there's an evil entity that's controlling that dimension, and she has got to battle through this roguelike world to destroy this evil entity that's in there and sort of reclaim I think sort of her life, really, a way to get back out of there, because apparently this entity, I think, was manipulating her in the first game, so she's got a reason to try and fight through and take it on. Looks pretty decent, what I can tell, but yeah, it is a complete change from the first game. Yeah, so if you'd like that one, not necessarily going to like this one, unless you are into your roguelikes like Hades.
Yeah, see, it's interesting because I was quite disappointed. Quite disappointed to see that this is what the sequel was, but I do like Hades. So it's kind of like, see how we go. I have been sent I was saying to Dave earlier, I've been sent a copy of this game. I've got no idea if I'm ever going to be able to stream it because I just don't know where we're going to fit it in. I literally got it quite late. They literally sent it me on day release and I wasn't expecting a copy. I don't think I even asked for a copy and they sent it to me. And so I was like, shit, I don't know how we're going to fit this in. So maybe I'll do a stream of this. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We shall see. Johnny, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with the Lost and Random games, so this was again something I've not really been very, very privy to in terms of finding out much information. If I've only been looking into it today, so yeah, what you guys have been mentioning and looking at the trailer, and I mean, it looks good. I mean, again, we talk about the visuals; it looks really nice, looks really solid. Again, a genre change in a sequel is always a risky move, isn't it? We've talked about that before, even on the show. So, but yeah, that you can see it though with the roguelikes, the isometrics. They're very, very popular right now. Very popular. You know, it is kind of like one of the in genres now in video gaming, especially when it comes to indie gaming as well. So I can see the logic behind the decision making, and it looks good. So if they want to try something different, want to try putting their own spin on the genre, that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's always a difficult, interesting but difficult decision to make if you're going to make that type of change to your fan base, really, isn't it? Well, how they're going to take it. So
yeah, okay, all right. Well, a couple of people have been dropping some scores in the chat already. Danke said it was something I initially was not liking the top-down gameplay, but I've been slowly turned around by seeing various streams of it. So okay, yeah, so it's growing on. Manic says I think I'll give it a 7. Danke says an 8. Sue says a 7. Games Guru says a 7. iCross says 7.5. Chat, get your scores in. See if you get it right. We'll get you a shout out in chat for your channel. Dave, I'll start with you on this one. What do you reckon this got?
I'm going to try a 7 for this one.
Okay, going for a 7. Flame going in with an 8 for this one. So we've got 7s and 8s mainly. Johnny, your thoughts?
I'm going to go 7.5, I think.
Okay, 7.5. Ems is agreeing with you on that. 7.5 from Ems. Any more scores, folks? This is your chance. This is Lost and Random, The Eternal Die, which came out last Tuesday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Kindred coming in with an 8. And if there is no more scores, I can tell you that maybe I should do a stream on this because the scores for this were pretty decent because they were coming in at an 8 out of 10.
Better than expected.
Yeah. So maybe just the demo just didn't really tick the boxes for me. So maybe I will give it a go. But yeah, got some high praise. 8 out of 10 for this one. So there you go. I know Sophie didn't like it, though. She was massively disappointed because she loved the first game. And then she saw this and went, nope. So it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea because if you don't like roguelikes, you might not. But I kind of do. So maybe that'll sway me over. So there you go. Oh, congratulations to Kindred, who got it right. Flame as well. Danke as well. You got it right. Dave, you didn't get this one right, unfortunately. No.
I haven't got one right so far.
No. Johnny, it happens. Trust me. Even if I have to rig it, you'll get one right. I'm always good to my guests. Don't worry. We'll make sure it happens. So you've got plenty more. We've still got another. We've got another 3 games to go. 3 games to go. You'll be absolutely fine. So there you go. But congratulations to everyone that's got those right there. Now, a bit of a surprise, this one. So some of you may know that obviously the last TNGC we do every year is a Christmas special. And we pretty much go through our top 15 games of the year. This was one of my games of the year. It didn't get amazing reviews. It got decent reviews. but I did love it, and I loved it for the story. I didn't realize until the weekend that a DLC had come out for this. It literally was flown straight under the radar, like hardly any announcements for it. If you don't know what I'm talking about Still Wakes the Deep, which was a fantastic horror game that came out last year. They brought out a DLC called Sirens Rest. This came out last Wednesday. I didn't even see the trailer till Saturday. This was on PC, Xbox Series X, and PS5. And let's have a look at the trailer of this, which I want to play this big time now. Now I've seen it, so let's press that button. Let's have a look.
Depth?
187 meters.
Pressure?
0.4 bar.
Reserve oxygen for the diving bell.
Both green.
Best if we keep our expectations low, Manny.
I just don't want to leave empty-handed. A decade in salt water has made its mark.
Take it nice and slow. No rush.
The comms are breaking up, Rob. I'm going to detach.
Absolutely not, Manny. We have no idea what's out there. Don't detach yet!
This is an evacuation order.
God, how am I going to get out of here?
We never will, Mary.
No! Ah! Rob, there's something in here.
There you go. So a DLC to a much loved game that I loved last year, and Sue said she loved it. It was in my top 5 games of the year. Still Wakes the Deep. So this DLC is actually set after the game. It kind of continues the story, doesn't it? It's set quite some time after. So tell us a little bit more about this, Dave.
Yeah, it's set 11 years after the events of the main game. So you're playing as a diver who's come to explore the wreckage to see if they can find out what actually happened to the crew on there. So as you can see the trailer, explore the wrecks, see what you can find, and you can pretty much guess that whatever caused the problems in the original game is lingering around, going to make a reappearance. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this one. I never got around to finishing the first game, so I do need to go back and finish that at some point. So it was pretty cool what I played. Yeah. So I'll probably get around to this at some point because it does look very cool. Yeah,
I'm quite glad that they've gone down the route of this because I said to you the reason I like the game so much is, without giving any spoilers, for me, the way the game ended, it couldn't end in any other way. I think they did it in such a good way that it was like, right. So to then have a kind of a thing of, we're now going to explore the wreckage of the oil rig 11 years later. I like the sound. So that, because the first game's set in the 80s, so this is going to be set in, obviously, in the 90s. So I wonder if there'll be cultural references and stuff like there was in the first thing. But I like this, and the fact there's a bit more of an underwater element because there wasn't really any underwater sections because you were running around this oil rig. So I think this looks really good. Again, no idea. I really want to play this when I'm going to fit this in, but I'm going to say I think Dave Johnson is still lurking. This might get tossed into the pot for the Halloween streams. I can see me, chucking it in when we do the charity fundraising for the Halloween stream. So I think maybe I'll get it and sit on it and deliberately not play it until October. I think that would be good. So there you go. A couple of people want to say hello to Big Jesse. Hello. Big Jesse's here. Good to see you, buddy. Hi, by the way. DJ Mike is here. He says, 90s was a great time. I didn't have to work or worry about anything. Oh, great in the 90s, wasn't it? Great time. It was great. There you go. Let's see what a couple of... actually, what Johnny, did you... Obviously, Sue said she loved Silhouette. Did you play this then?
So I've pretty much watched full gameplays of both both the original game and the DLC. I've got a lot of things I could say, but it's obviously all spoiler related, so I can't really say a lot because I don't want to ruin your experience, never mind anyone else's. But yeah, I mean, the original game, like, so you loved it. What I loved is the story. I think this, if you want a really good story to your horror game, then I think Still Wakes the Deep is excellent. And without spoiling it, you know, the story that's presented in the DLC is solid as well. You know, it continues that theme. I don't want to say more than that about the story, but in terms of the diving and the swimming aspect, like you said, it's not something that you really do a lot in the original game. In this, it's the focus of the game, and it completely spins the idea on its head completely in terms of the horrors, should we say, of the original game put into the deep dive of the exploration. It completely changes everything, and it creates a very similar feeling, but equally different direction in terms of the horror that's presented. And I thought that was really clever. It's definitely solid. It wasn't my indie horror game of the year, but it was definitely up there. I mean, I loved Mouthwashing, and I don't know if you guys played that. I absolutely loved that game. But I heard a lot of people like Cal. Shout out to Cal on the Welsh, our lovely friend who's also going to Timeless as well. He loved Still Wakes the Deep, and it was because of him that I was very interested in it. And it's solid. And if you like the original, you probably like the DLC as sure as well.
Yeah, I'm just surprised considering how much publicity Still Wakes the Deep got, that this has literally got none. Like, I didn't even know this existed. It was only because I was going through, what's come out. This wasn't even on my original schedule list of games that are coming out for this month. I literally stumbled on the trailer and went, shit, I'd like to talk about that. So it was a bit of a random thing. If I'd not seen that trailer by pure accident, I wouldn't even know this existed, which I find a bit weird. But maybe because Still Wakes the Deep was one of those things that came out around about September, and then a lot of hype built over it over the couple of months. So a lot of people were still talking about it, but I hope this gets the love that the main game.
It went in BAFTA, I think, as well, didn't it?
It did, and it won one of the awards at the Debug Awards as well. So again, like you said, with the story and everything, one of the few games that there's a point in it that there's some emotion in it that, like, you just kind of well up and you go, oh shit. So it's just very well done. If a game does that to me, you know it's going to do well in my eyes. It's like, yeah, that's going to hit, because if it's hitting those things, it's like, you know, if it's pulling the heartstrings, you know it's been written well and done well. So yeah, there you go. All right, folks, let's see what scores have been saying. Let's have a look at this. So Manic saying an 8 for this. Dank saying a 7. iQuell 7.5. DJ Mike 7.5. Flame 7. Sue an 8. DJ Mike says, is that why you've been ignoring all the Horsetails DLC? I didn't even know there was DLC for Horsetails. But there you go. M says a 7.5. Johnny, we'll start with you. What do you reckon this got?
This is tough, isn't it? Because we know that the original got really good scores. So I'm going to go with an 8.5 on this, I think.
Okay. All right. Dave, what say you?
I'll go for an 8.
Okay, going for an 8. Any more, folks? Get your scores in. This is the Still Wakes the Deep DLC, Sirens Rest, which came out last Wednesday, to my surprise, on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5. And if there are no more scores, Kindred just says an 8. I can tell you that Matt says, look superb, 8.5. I can tell you, when we talked about Still Wakes the Deep on our show, even though it's won a number of awards, it only roughly got round about a 7.5 or 7 out of 10. The scores, the average score wasn't that amazing. And weirdly, the reviewers have clearly not learned their lesson, because the DLC got an average of 7 out of 10. But seeing as how much I like that game, I can't see me not liking this. So, yeah, as we say, the critics don't always get it right, folks. So, considering it won a bloody BAFTA and it's won a load of other awards, what the fucking critics know? There you go.
Yeah, give it a whirl.
Yeah, DLCs don't always do well. True, but it's roughly got around about the same score what the game got on the show. In fact, out of my top 5 games of the year, it was my lowest scored one, ironically, but I loved it a lot. So, you know, score doesn't always mean everything. So let's see who got that right. Flame got it right. Well done, Flame. Congratulations. You get a shout out. Danker as well. Danker's got it right as well. Well done, Danker. So he's not bang on the money this week, but he's getting most of them right. So there you go. But yeah, there you go. On to our next news story. This one I thought was quite funny actually, because I think we all saw it coming in some shape or form. So the game that we're all can't wait for, he says very sarcastically, Marathon. What? Yes, has been delayed. It was due to come out in September, on September the 23rd, and Sony have now announced that it has been postponed with no date for now. Now, what's going to happen is they have stated that during the autumn, so sometime between September and November, we're going to be told when it's coming out in 2026. They said that could also possibly extend all the way to March before they announce the official date. So anytime between the autumn and the end of March 2026, we will get a new date. And the reason it's been delayed is back in April, they did the alpha tests and people played it. And let's just say people were very divided on it, more so negatively than positively. And people said, we want the Marathon game that we originally wanted, because obviously this is an old IP that's been revamped. They were like, this isn't the game that it should be. We're not happy. So the people behind it have sat down and basically said, we will address the issues. We will turn this into the game that you want. So because of that, we need more time and we're not going to release this in September. Now, Danker's just said, could be a full cancellation. You say that, but Sony have made a statement to say that they have learnt from their mistakes of what happened with Concord last year, and they will not be cancelling this game. They will not do a Concord. Now, what's interesting, so they will not cancel.
I say that now. Wait,
yeah, well, this is what I'm saying, because we will not do a Concord, blah, 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 blah. But what they might do is release it and have it 6 months and then cancel it. So instead of pulling it off shelves within 2 weeks. Is it Bungie doing it? They did the originals, right? Is it Bungie doing it? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's Bungie.
It is Bungie doing it, yeah. So it's kind of surprising. But yeah, they basically said Bungie are taking into consideration. Obviously, Bungie is now owned by Sony. And saying we're taking all the feedback on. We're going to try and make this into the game it should be. Kindred said it's basically Destiny 2 PvP from Temu. I mean, it didn't look great from what we saw. I'm going to lie. And I think it's so underwhelming that last year, it was supposed to come out last year, if you remember, because it did focus in our top 50 games to look out for in 2024, and it didn't get released. And then it got pushed back to 2025. It didn't even get in our list of top 50 games to look out for this year because no one was talking about it. Even IGN put out a poll after the alpha test and said, are you excited for the release of Marathon? And there was an overwhelming reception of nearly 80% saying no. So nobody really cares for this game. Nobody's really excited for this game. Bungie are going to have to do something amazing to turn this around. Otherwise, I can see this being another massive failure for Sony. So thoughts on this, Dave? And I'll ask Johnny's opinion on this. It just seems so bizarre that this is history repeating itself now. It feels like another Concord.
Yeah, I mean, it's had a lot of bad press as well recently because all the plagiarism stuff that came about. It's like a lot of the artwork in the game. So that's, I think, going to be a factor as well into this delay because I've got to go through all the art and make sure there's no more of it that could be problematic.
Yeah.
So, bit of an awkward one. And obviously, they're going to have to change the art that was found to be plagiarised. They've got a lot of work to do there. But even before that, as you say, like the alpha tests weren't that great. And when they did that initial big reveal, and a lot of people played it then, a lot of the streamers I watched at the time, the YouTube channels I watched at the time, were kind of saying that the stuff they played was okay, but the people at Bungie were sort of bigging up another level that they were working on, and which wasn't going to make launch. They hadn't quite worked out at that point how ranked play was going to work, so that would be coming later. There was quite a few bits that weren't going to be ready for launch, and considering this isn't going to be free to play, you're going to have to pay for it. It's probably going to be like a £30-40 game, I would have thought. If there's not enough there at launch, then I don't think people will want to spend money on it.
And then by the time they release this stuff, people will have lost interest.
Yeah, and moved on. Plus, it's an extraction shooter, which is a bit of a niche genre anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some big games on PC, but when I say big, we're not talking like Fortnite numbers. They've got like a decent, community that play those games. So I think Bungie might struggle to like pull those people away from those games they're already invested in, and get new people in who don't really like extraction shooters, because
I mean,
it's a bit of a niche because you've got to be good to get stuff out to progress your character.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you risk losing everything and start again with like basic equipment.
And
so
this is the thing. And there are other games on the horizon that are like this. Arc Raiders being one.
I was about to say that one. That's been getting good word of mouth. And for me, visually, Arc Raiders looks much nicer compared to Marathon, which has got a very odd sort of art style, if you like. I don't think it's a bad art style, but it's definitely not going to appeal to everybody with what they've gone for. I think Arc Raiders looks much nicer. Sounds better. Yeah. Sounds like it's got features in it, like I think like proximity chat, which are missing at the moment from Marathon. So hopefully they're going to like add in a lot of these features that people are saying they need to add in.
Yeah.
So I think it's good it's been delayed, because it sounded like it didn't need to be delayed all the time, regardless of the issues it's had recently.
Yeah.
But I doubt it's going to be like a massive hit if it does prove popular. So I mean, Sony it's probably not going to be as big as I'd like. It might not hit as big as like Helldivers 2, just because it's a niche genre that isn't as popular as like they'd like. I'm sure Bungie would like this to be something that brings that to the mainstream, but I don't know. I think for them to have any hope of doing that, when they're sort of get ready to launch it next year, if it is next year, they're going to need to do some like open beta so people can jump in and try it, see if they actually like it. Because I'm not interested in extraction shooters, so I wouldn't just go and spend 40 quid in it. But if it was an open beta, I could try.
Then you might give it away, yeah.
Possibly. So I think they're going to have to do some stuff like that to get people's interest back up in it.
Yeah, Kindred said most of the missing features are in Destiny 2, so I'd be shocked if they aren't using some of the same code. Also, why didn't they put that in the first place?
I know, it's stuff that should be in there, and it's stuff that is in Arc Raiders.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's stuff that is good to have an extraction shooter, so take it back, put it in there, wow us next year.
Yeah, well, it makes you wonder what we're doing, because this was originally supposed to come out last year, so you're thinking, right, well, so now this is going to be delayed by 2 years, maybe even more. Because if we don't get an announcement until March 2026, because they said that's the very latest they'll put an announcement out, why not even be coming out until 2027? Is anyone really going to care by then?
I'm not sure that many people really care now. So we're just
they don't. It's just a massive underwhelming. No one does care. Johnny, your opinions on this, because this is such a bizarre one.
Yeah, it's not really my genre, but reading about the story and it's just, I mean, it's the classic, isn't it? Unfortunately, we've seen this happen so many times now. Duke Nukem Forever. Let's be honest. It's not new, unfortunately. Again, looking at, I'm a big fan of the YouTube channel, Who Done It with Matt McMuscles, and looking at these development hell stories are just horrible. But in a certain way, I try to be glass half full type of person, and the fact that they've acknowledged it is half step in the right direction at least, and they're at least they've addressed it. But if the hype was there and now it's kind of going, it's kind of hard to win people back on that, isn't it? How many games have been delayed in the past, and not many of them have been success stories overall. I mean, Cyberpunk probably one of the best examples of that, or No Man's Sky eventually. So it's always one of those risky decisions to make. That can go right, but you've got to be committed to it. And if Sony are putting out statements saying, yeah, fine, we have acknowledged this and we're going to take this seriously and do something with it, then hopefully that will win it over. But like Dave said, it's not the most popular genre going, and if they're going to put a £40 or more price tag on it, it's probably not going to do well. You best probably put it on the likes of the PlayStation access and stuff like that, to give a free opportunity for people to play it on release and launch, and then win them over that way. But yeah, not looking good. But you never know. At least they're addressing the issues.
Yeah, there you go. Mannix put something about the Fortnite thing. I've not seen it, so if anyone wants to talk about that, feel free to put it in chat. But I've actually not seen any of that yet, Mannix, so I can't comment on that at all. Sorry. But there you go. I was going to say Reloaded. He put Reloaded, Matt. But yeah, Marathon. That's all we'll say about that then. Let's move on to our last two games of the night, folks. Kindred just said, I'll put this in. Bungie don't have a good track record over the last so many years. Even Destiny 2 has suffered, and they played over involved parties. True, they had a couple of things that didn't go quite well. Generally,
yeah.
But yeah, we've seen it.
They haven't been doing well. Could you have to wonder if Sony are regressing, playing, was it 3.7 billion for them?
Yeah.
I think they probably are. They haven't been worth that money, definitely not.
No. Ouchie. Anyway, let's move on to our 7th game tonight. We've got a remastered title, which always seems to be, we always have, a JRPG and a remaster every week on this show. But here we go. This kind of almost ticks the boxes. This comes from the people that did Atlas, the Persona games. This came out last Thursday on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, S1, PC. And I get to say this for the first time, and on Switch and Switch 2. This is the first game we've ever had that's on both Switches. Amazing. I can actually get to say this. This is a Raidou Remastered, the mystery of the soulless army. So if you like your Persona games, you're going to love this this remaster. Let's have a look at the trailer for this.
Taisho 20. In the once peaceful capital, a sinister darkness festers.
Sir, please. I want you to kill me.
A series of bizarre incidents erupt.
The Red Cape?
He's some strange fella who's been seen all over the capital. Kaya was really balled up about her bloodline.
You noticed it too, didn't you, Raidou? Those red special guards were demons. The Kuzunoha can't stand idly by with those things prowling the capital.
Protecting the capital. A devil summoner.
Every generation of Raidou Kuzunoha has been tasked with safeguarding the capital. You exist in the darkness in order to vanquish that very darkness. Never forget that.
He commands demons and vanquishes evil.
Spirit!
You see the unseen and wield a power that others do not. It seems you still intend to interfere with our plans.
Unravel a conspiracy threatening the world. The Soulless Army Project.
Those in power use their authority to rewrite history to suit themselves.
Come forth! Raidou Kuzunoha the 14th is on the case.
Raidou!
Have faith in yourself!
Don't you die out there, Kuzunoha.
Godspeed, Raidou.
Unleash the supernatural.
Go, Raidou!
Raidou Remastered. The Mystery of the Soulless Army. Pre-order now.
They should get points just for the name of the character. Raidou Kuzunoha the 14th. What a great name that is, isn't it? Right, I am the 14th. That sells that for me. Just that alone. So yeah, this has literally come out on pretty much everything. So how old is this game, Dave? Why has this got a remaster?
It was originally out on PlayStation 2 in 2006, I believe. So it's fairly old. I can honestly say I've never heard of it.
No, I got
the series. And I think this is actually the third game in the Devil Summoner series. So it's by Atlas, who are more famous for the was it Shin Megami Tensei and Persona games.
Yeah,
another one of their series. This one's a little bit different in its gameplay style, whereas the other ones are mostly turn-based. This is more sort of action RPG, so more real-time combat. In this one, you're playing as Raidou, who's a detective in like a 1930s Japanese city, and you're fighting various like sort of demonic infestations that appear to be coming in. But what you can do actually, actually fight the demons is you can sort of capture them, I guess, sort of Pokemon style, and then summon them in combat, so then they can fight alongside you. Looks all right from what I can see there. Graphics look like they definitely improved them. Nothing remarkable. They look reasonable enough for today's sort of consoles. It's kind of got that sort of feel of like Persona when I sort of look at it. It's got some sort of style to it. Not something I would go out and play because it never really appeals to me, any of the Persona games or the other Atlas games. But I guess like fans of Atlas, are probably going to want to get back into this one. It might be a series they're not familiar with and want to try out.
Yeah, very true. Johnny, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so I love the Persona games. Massive fan of the Persona games, but late to it, like a lot of Western fans are, because obviously it was massive in Japan and it slowly creeped into the West, hasn't it? As Persona 3 was pretty well received, Persona 4 was really good, and then Persona 5 just went massive critical acclaim, and then since then, obviously Shin Megami Tensei is slowly filtering into the West, and that seems to be what they're doing, is bringing out a Devil Summoner games into it. I think Soul Hackers 2 came out a few years ago. I'm not as familiar with the other games, just the Persona series. So I'm not familiar with Devil Summoner. I'm not familiar with much to do with Shin Megami Tensei, to be honest with you. But it's the classic Atlas, isn't it? They remake and remaster all their games over and over and over again, and people question it, but they keep selling the games. Persona 4 has had a remake. A remake of the remasters, but equally it's like, well, they're clearly selling it in units, so I don't know. I equally love their business model, but equally get frustrated because it's like I don't think many Western games would get away with it, to be honest with you. But fair play. It's working for them. It looks nice. This the Raidou Remastered game looks quite nice. Because this one kind of makes more sense, I think, than most of the Persona games, because, like we said, the original came out nearly 20 years ago. So it kind of makes somewhat. There's some logic to getting a remaster for this, whereas in some of the Personas you kind of go, again?
Well, they do sell well. As you said, they sell really well. So when this Persona 4 remaster comes out, everyone's going to go mad for that. You can see that.
Oh, definitely.
Right, okay. A couple of people have got scores in the chat already. Manic saying a 7. Danka saying a 7.5. Sue saying a 7.5. Iquel saying a 7.5. Flame saying 7.5. Obs, good evening. How you doing, Obs? 8 out of 10. M's 7.5. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this one got?
I'm going to try an 8. I think she's scored pretty well the Atlas games.
Okay, all right. Johnny?
I'm going to go low. I'm going to go 7 here.
Okay, going for a 7. All right. Folks, this is your last chance. This is Raidou Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, which came out last Thursday on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, Switch 2, and PC. Flipping out, this list is just going to get longer of consoles until they start stopping making games for some of these. Kindred says 7.5, didn't see the trailer. That's fine. So, Manic says 7.5 as well. I can tell you that there's going to be a lot of shout outs for this one. It's got 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10 for this one. So congratulations to everyone in his chat. Manic, Kindred, Ems, Flame, Iquel, Sue, Danka. Congratulations for getting that right. Iquel, if you're happy to do all those shout outs, I will give Iquel a shout out. I think that's now officially 3 right. I think you got 3 right, Manic. I think maybe. I've lost count, but yeah, I think so. You're doing all right. You're doing all right. Our last game of the night is a game that we're going to be playing on this very stream on Thursday night. I should say channel, not the stream, because we're doing this on the stream right now, aren't we? This comes from the makers of the really awesome combat game Sifu. Plus, it's published by our friends at Kepler Interactive, who've already had a good start to the year with a wonderful Expedition 33. This is available on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC, and is available on Game Pass. And we'll be streaming this on Thursday. This is Rematch. Let's have a look at the trailer for this. So there you go. That is Rematch. Very much got the art style of Sifu, as you can say, but it's football, but with kind of the Rocket League aesthetic as well. So tell us a little bit more about what makes this different to playing your typical bog standard FC/FIFA game.
Yeah, well, this is going for like smaller matches, so like 3v3, 4v4, 5v5, and you'll just play as one character. You know, whereas in like FIFA, you can perhaps jump between characters depending on what type of match you're playing. Whereas this one, you're just one of the players on the pitch. You're controlling that one all the way. I think in this one they've taken out fouls or breaks in play, so it's just continuously going.
Yeah.
So I think it's just meant to be quite fast paced. You've got to be quite accurate with your shots because it leaves like the fine control up to you. There's nothing like that really helps you with the aiming like it does like the FIFAs or perhaps the football. So yeah, there's a bit more to sort of learn with this one. And I think control scheme wise, that's a little bit different as well compared to like the football game. So I think a little bit of an initial learning curve to get used to the difference in controls they've gone for in this. Well, apparently once you get used to it, it feels pretty good and fairly intuitive. And I think it's probably for a lot of people, it'd be a nice change to the big AAA football stuff that you get just the same shit churned out year on year like you're getting with FIFA, like you're getting with that eFootball. So it's probably something that's a bit more different, that could get into, faster playing, probably a lot more fun, to be quite honest. So I think it might well attract a lot of people looking for a fun multiplayer football game. But it looks pretty decent. I like the graphics to it. It's got that nice sort of stylized look, as you mentioned, of Sifu. It looks like a sort of nice, sort of clean look to it. You can tell exactly what's going on where everyone is. So I think that looks really cool. Looks like it should be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this on Thursday. So should be fun. Johnny, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so I like a footy game. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, and like we said though, however, the AAA FC25, FIFA, what you want to call them, the games are very stale. That's the only problem. Like, I do miss the days, and I know I sound like an old fart saying it, but like when we did have the competition for all the different games of football that you could play in the 90s and maybe early 90s, whereas it's all dominated now, isn't it? And with no competition, there's no innovation. That's a classic cliche is, and it's nice to see someone trying to do something different with the genre because it's so stale. A lot of people comparing it to Rocket League. I can just completely see where they're coming from, and I suppose there's going to be some negativity thrown at them before that, because. But equally, I love innovation. I love the fact of trying something new. I love the fact that it does look like something that might appeal to a different audience. Like, people will buy FIFA every single year and still complain about it whilst buying it, whereas this will appeal to a completely different set of people. And I'm all for that. I think that it'll be really interesting to see how it goes. They want to put their own stamp on the genre, but also try to attract both their unique audience, but also mainstream fans of football as well. So they've gone for that really nice middle ground, I feel, with the graphics. But hopefully, as time goes on, if we're talking about Rocket League, hopefully they can start really going to town with some of the graphics if they continue that way. Very interested. Really, really interesting concept.
Yeah. If you want to see more of this game, tune in on Thursday at 8:30 because we'll be playing it. I'll let you know. Let you know what's going on with that. So, folks, time for to get your scores in. Last game in the light. Last chance to get your shout-outs. Manic coming in with a score of 7.5. Sue says a 7. Danka says they certainly done that. People in my inner circle never play football games say they want to try it. Exactly. So it's reaching a new audience that wouldn't consider it. Johnny, what would you say?
I'm gonna go for 7.
Okay, going for a 7. All right. Danka's going for a 7.5. iQuell's going for a 7.5. Flame's going for a 7. He agrees with you, Johnny. Kindred saying a 7.5. Dave, what say you?
I'm going to try 7.5.
Going for a 7.5. Okay, so we've got 7.5. Going to see how this goes. Any more, folks? Get your scores in. This is Rematch, which came out last Thursday on Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC. And is also available on Game Pass. M's saying a 7.5. Michael says, I've been giving it a go. It's good fun, but depends on who's on your team a little bit. I guess it's a bit like, again, Night Rain and FBC Firebreak. If you've got good players or people that can communicate, it probably plays well. And if you haven't,
oh, definitely,
probably a pain in the ass, but we'll see. So, on that note, if there are no more scores in the chat, I can tell you that this did average. Now, this is interesting because if our guest, I said I would make sure that our guest got one right. So, obviously, sometimes if our guests don't get any right, I give them an idea what score to say, just so they get the last one right. But I didn't have to because he got it bang on the nose, because this on average got a 7 out of 10. So he got it right without my help, Johnny. I was getting ready for you to say like 7.5, and I was like, maybe you want to go a little bit lower. But no, I didn't have to, which is great. So I was like, woo! There you go. So can we get a shout out for our guest? Go follow his YouTube channel. Go follow his Twitch channel. He's back on Thursday night, around about 8 o'clock, you said, didn't you? So
yeah, playing a game by Kepler. So yeah, Claire Obscure.
So Claire Obscure, which is a fantastic game. So go follow him. Also, Sue, congratulations, you got it right. Well done. Flame, you got it right as well. But yeah, it was quite close. Lots of 7.5s, lots of 7s, but the 7s outweighed the 7.5s. So it's good. There's obviously other little things that people found a little bit frustrating with it. But again, not too bad score-wise. So yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. So give this a go. But yeah, congratulations. Well done, Johnny, for getting that right. There you go. There's the shouts. Go follow Johnny. Go check out his YouTube channel, Stream Stories, and all that there. It's all good. Damn it, but all but 2 right tonight. That's not bad. 6 out of 8 for Kindred. That's good going, my friend. Well, I got a majority of them right, so that's something. Well done, Manic. Well done to everyone. I think quite a few people did quite well tonight. So if you got half or more, great. Even if you got 2 right, that's good. And our guest got 1 right, so we made sure that happened. So that's all right. So that's good by us. There you go. No one goes away empty-handed. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for you this week. Thank you so much for everyone watching. Massive thank you to Johnny for being here and our guest tonight. We will see you in Timeless. Can't wait to see you there, buddy.
Can't wait to see you, man. Yeah, thank you again. Thanks so much for having me.
No, thank you for being such a great guest. As always, thank you to our co-host that knows the most, Mr. Dave Jones.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for being here. And next week's show, we can tell you at least one of the games that we'll be talking about, which some people have had early access to, but does come out on Thursday. It's obviously going to be Death Stranding 2 on the beach. That is going to be the big game that we will be talking about. What else are we going to be talking about? Haven't got a clue because I haven't written the show yet. We'll find out. But we'll definitely be talking about Death Stranding 2 on next week's show. And our guest on next week's show, again, a timeless theme, is our cosplayer extraordinaire judge, the wonderful Sammy Jinx. Sammy will be here. We haven't had her on the show since Halloween, so she's going to be on the show telling us how the cosplay competition is going to work this year and numerous other things. So she will be on the show next week. Thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you to my mods for doing all the shout outs. Greatly appreciate it. Jesse says, I've heard of Sammy. Yes, I've heard she's quite good at what she does. So there you go. Who knows? Anyway, so without further ado, let's do a raid. Let's go see who's on. Let's move the channel onto everyone else. Don't forget, tomorrow, 8:30, FBC Firebreak, our community night. You can download it free on Game Pass and PS Plus. We'll be swapping people out on the missions. And I've got a copy to give away on Xbox Series X and S. And on Thursday, Rematch, as we've just talking about. Let's go see who we can raid. Oh, now this is perfect. Is this who I think it is? Yes, it is. So, talking to cosplayers, a good friend of mine, and also a friend of Jinx's, because she was also one of our judges at Timeless, and we'll be back. A bit of a spoiler, because I'm sure Sammy was going to announce this next week, but she'll be back with us as one of our cosplaying judges. The wonderful Referia. Referia is playing some Marvel rivals. Let's go raid Referia. She would greatly appreciate this raid. So I'm going to press that button, make that happen. Go send her some love. She's absolutely awesome. Some of you might know her fella that pops into chat, who's Ryan, who pops into chat as well. So let's go show some love to Referia. Raid will start when the end credits have rolled. And there you go. There's the link, just in case the raid doesn't go over. And all that leaves for me to say is, wherever you are in the world, have a great morning, a great afternoon, or a great evening. And I shall see you tomorrow at 8:30 for some FBC Firebreak. I think chaos will ensue, definitely. From all of us here tonight, thank you so much. We're going to do that thing where we wave until I press a button. Bye!